In this video, we are going to look at some useful keyboard shortcuts in Desmos. Desmos does a lot of amazing things, but when you are taking a test or doing anything timed, your efficiency at using it is really, really important. And keyboard shortcuts can come in handy there. Now, this is not going to be an exhaustive list of all the shortcuts you can use, but these are ones that you might find helpful. So first thing is doing exponents. So most of my students, when they are going to do an exponent, they come down here to this menu here and they recognize that they have an option here for an exponent, and they'll click that button, A to the B, and then they'll type in whatever they want their exponent to be. Now, another way you can do that, though, and you just have to look at your keyboard, is if I want to do 8 to the 4th power is usually on your 6 key, there is something called a caret. Okay, so you're going to look at your 6 key and then hit shift and then that caret, and that will bring you up to your exponent, and that saves you the trouble of having to open up a menu, use your touchpad or your mouse or some other device. Now, another thing that you might notice when you are doing exponents is if the exponent is itself an expression. So instead of just 8 to the 4th, suppose you have 8 to the 4 plus x, and you want the exponent to be 4 plus x. Well, Desmos will automatically bump that out of the exponent. So one of the ways that you can solve this is before you start to type your exponent, open up some parentheses, type in your entire exponent, and then close your parentheses. So the Desmos will assume that you don't want the plus x in the exponent, and you have to open up a grouping symbol to let it know, like, okay, this is what I want it to do. So those are two things to note. For square roots, so one of the ways to get a square root is, of course, to look at this menu down here again. Okay, open it up and you can see the square root, and you can type in the square root of 9. Another way you can do that, again, if you don't want to use that keyboard there, you don't want to open it up, is to simply type the letters SQR. Now watch what happens when I type the T. It automatically will change over to a square root symbol. So if you've got your keyboard in front of you, it might be faster for you to simply type the letters SQRT than to tangle with your mouse and your touchpad to go and find the square root symbol. Absolute value has something similar. So there's several ways you can get an absolute value. One of them is, again, through this menu right here. So you can click down here and grab your absolute value. Okay, we look at the absolute value of x. Another way you can do that is to type the letters ABS and then open up parentheses. Okay, you'll notice it graphed right over that. So absolute value of x, we can make it absolute value of x. Let's add a plus 2. There we go. So now we can see that. So that's another way of doing it. Or a third way, if you look at your keyboard, on my keyboard, this key would be just above the enter key, and it would give me a slash there, but the secondary button on that is a vertical line. So if I hit shift and then hit that key, it will bring up those absolute values for me. So I can get my absolute values that way. And we'll do -2 on that one. So 3 different ways that you can get absolute value. So some useful shortcuts there. When entering fractions, so this can be a bit of a beast. So if you wanted to enter in a really, really messy fraction, say x squared plus 2x minus 3, and then you wanted 2x minus 3, and then you wanted all of that to be in the numerator. And what you notice is this, as soon as you type that division symbol, it only puts the 3 in the numerator. And so you got to go back and redo it. Now, one way to get around that is to group it. So if you know at the outset that you want all of that to be in the numerator, if you indicate that you're going to group it at the beginning, Desmos will group it, and then when you hit your division symbol, it'll kick everything up into the numerator. So that's one way around that. Another way to get around that, though, is to type your division symbol first. So to type your division symbol first, and then everything will automatically go into the numerator until you are ready to put something in the denominator. So hitting that division symbol first can give you a little bit of a leg up there. And then the last one that I wanted to go through is if you were doing a logarithm of a particular base. So this would be if you were studying log base 5. Now, if you're not in Algebra 2 or you're not to that point in Algebra 2, you're probably thinking, what is that? I don't know what that is, but you will find out because like fun things are in store. Now, the way most people get that is they come over here. So they open up this panel down here. Okay. And then they come over here to functions and then scroll all the way down. And it's not like it's awful. You're going to go to your calculus menu and then you will find log base and you could type in log base 2 of 4. Okay. And you get the 2 there. But another way you can do that is with your keyboard, type in the letters LOG. And then for your base, hit your shift key and then not the plus sign, but the symbol right next to it that you would use for like your minus sign. So do shift and then the minus sign, and that will kick you into the base. And then you can type in your 4 that way. So that is also a great shortcut. Now, this is not exhaustive of all of your keyboard shortcuts, but it does cover some of them. And again, it can help you with that speed. I tell my students, even if you are 100% sure you know what you need to do in Desmos, I want you practicing every single time that we're doing Desmos exercises, because practicing is going to teach you all these different shortcuts, as well as help you figure out what shortcuts work best for you. So I hope you found this video helpful. Give it a like if it did, and I'll see you in the next video.